I was having dinner last night with a friend of mine, and I looked at her at one point and said, I will never understand how you're not a millionaire. She has a great online business. She has a booming coaching program where her clients wait months to get in and coach with her. And yet she makes a little over $200,000 a year. Hello, welcome to Next Level Confidence, episode number 79, Your Financial Ceiling. I'm Karen Barno, your host. Next Level Confidence for women looking to reconnect within, recreate their story, and reclaim their power. Next Level Confidence is to help women with the tools and techniques to next level their confidence so they can become the person that they're meant to be. So having dinner last night, we were chatting about it. I'm like, how is it possible that you only make $250,000 a year? How's that possible? And she had a lot of good reasons, a lot of great reasons. You know, I do a lot of one-on-one coaching. That's time intensive. I have an online course, but it's not that expensive because it's kind of a feeder course into my one-on-one coaching course. I charge, I forget what she told me she charges, I think $10,000 a month for her one-on-one coaching, which is, you know, nothing to sniff at. That's a good rate. So she went on, and I finally looked at her and I said, okay, explain to me something. How much money did your dad make? And she looked at me and she's like, that's pretty random. I'm like, yeah, just how much? She goes, I don't know. My dad probably made, 180, 190, maybe close to 200. Great. Did your mom work? No, my mom stayed at home, a couple kids. That's fantastic. What is the most money that you know of somebody that makes? And she's like, oh, well, so-and-so makes, somebody that we both know. Oh, so-and-so makes probably 1.5. I think last time I had dinner with her. Anybody else? Oh yeah, this person is, right about 900,000. I said, fantastic. And she's like, why? I said, why aren't you there? And she goes, and again, she goes to all of her reasons. And I'm like, stop it. When you think about making $500,000, what do you think? And she's like, wow, that's $500,000. Wow. Oh, that's a lot of money. I said, but is it? I said, you just told me that a lot of your friends are over 7 figures. So is it a lot of money? She goes, well, my dad worked really hard. And, he made a little under 200,000. And I don't work that hard, really, when you think about it. I mean, my dad worked, in the steel mill back then. And so he worked really hard. And I'm like, okay, so if you don't work hard, you don't deserve to make $500,000. And she's like, well, there's something to say for that. I'm like, there absolutely is not something to say for that. You're using your father's guideline as yours. I said, so let's stick with that because, we've known each other for a long time. I've met your dad. I get it. He was a hardworking guy. I said, okay, but how old is your dad? And she's like, oh my gosh, he's 85, 86. I said, okay, now think about $200,000 20 years ago. How much do you think that's worth now? And she's like, well, get out my phone. And she's like, holy crap. I said, exactly. You're looking at what your dad made 20, 30, 40 years ago, not what he could have made now. So that's your financial thermostat. You're basing your financial thermostat on flawed thinking. And I see so many women do this. They base their financial thermostat on somebody they know that makes money or somebody that has told them, well, you can coach all day long. You're never going to make any money doing that because only the really good ones make money. Or you can have an online course, but there's 8 million online courses out there and you're never going to get your seen. And you let this attitude permeate to where you get this financial threshold. And when you bump up against it, you can't go any further. I had another friend of mine who could not get over 7 figures. Didn't matter what she did, she couldn't do it. She'd get to, a little over $1 million, $1.1 million, $1.2 million. And then she'd back off. Something would happen. She'd get sick. She'd decide to take a vacation, whatever, and she'd back off. And it's because we had to sit down and say, what is your financial thermostat? And she realized it was $1 million because only certain people get to make $1 million. And she wasn't one of them. So if you're sitting at your job right now or your business and you're making whatever you're making, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 5 million. if your income has not risen past a certain point for years, you've got a financial thermostat that's broke. Now, I talk to a lot of women because my full-time job is I'm in the corporate world. And they'll be like, well, my company gives me 5% a year. It takes a long time to build up 5%. Absolutely, because you accept 5%. Just think if you said, you know what, I'm pushing back. I want 10%, 15%, 20%. And if you can't do that, I understand and respect it, but I'll find somebody who will. Somebody will always pay you what you ask for. Always. It's just a roll of money. Because what one person views as, I can't give you more than 3 or 4% because it'll impact their bonus. Another person looks at you with your value and says, oh, if I bring you in and I pay you 10%, you're going to bring in 20%. So I'm ahead of the game. Those are people that don't have that financial threshold burning. So if you're having trouble making what you want and think you're way underpaid, you're way underpaid because you're choosing to be way underpaid, because you're churning this financial threshold. And you really have to sit with it and ask yourself, where does it come from? And it may be totally unrelated to anybody in your family. Totally. You might have parents that, they believed if you thought about it, you got it. If you think about it, you bring about it, and that's all. But you had that one teacher in 7th or 8th or 9th or 10th grade who's like, I teach and I make, what do they make? 60,000 a year. And I work my ass off and I've got a degree. And if you don't get a degree, you're never going to make 60,000 a year. And that locks in. That gets locked and loaded. Or, Uncle Bob, who can't seem to hold a job to save his life, sits there and says, it's the man. The man keeps you down. Doesn't matter how much you want to make, can't make it. The man's keeping you down. Now, the more evolved man will be like, the woman's keeping you down. You can't make more money because of the woman. Or how many of us, and this happened, I will never forget it. I worked at this job and this guy and girl, they were both up for a pay raise. And so he goes in and he gets his, and he came back and we'll say he got $2 an hour. I don't remember what it was. And she came back and she had a degree. She had been there longer, all this. She came back and she got it like $1.25. And I'm like, well, whoa, he got $2. She goes, yeah, I know, but he has a wife and kids and I don't, I'm single. I was like, who gives a rat's ass? She goes, well, these guys do. And that was the first time I had been exposed to that. It's like, wait a minute, because he's a guy, he gets paid more? Now it has proven out more than I want to talk about. But I also looked at her and said, but you accepted it. You took it. She goes, yeah, I like my job. I said, don't you think they're kind of playing on that? And she ended up staying there for years, as happy as could be. Way underpaid, but as happy as could be, because that was her financial thermostat. Everybody has one. And again, if you're not making the money you want to make, if you're not where you want to be financially, you're bumping up against it. And also, the other way you can bump up against it is you're making great money. You're making $500,000 and it's fantastic. But it seems like every time you get a pay increase, something happens. Your car breaks down, the thermostat dies. You have to pay tuition for school. Something big happens. And in your mind, it's like, it just doesn't matter. I can't get ahead because every time I get a little extra in my bank account, so, I have to fix the air conditioning at the house. I have to buy a new car. I have to pay, private school tuition. It's like, but look at it. It happens every time you get money. So there's your financial thermostat right there. Because when you get money and you can't hold on to it, that's also your way of keeping you set right where you're at, your set point. So I really hope this helps you guys. I hope that if somebody's listening and they're like, wow, I could make more. Money's energy. That's all money is. Money is an exchange of energy. If you view money negatively, you push it away. If you view it positively, you bring it towards you. You're the one who gives the money the energy. Money doesn't walk up to you and say, man, here I am, I'm a $50 bill and I'm so energetic. Just shows up as a dirty, crinkly $50 bill. How you view it and treat it is whether you're going to get more $50 bills in your life or you're going to get less. So work on your financial thermostat, because I don't want to look at you one day and think, how are you not a millionaire? How is that not? And I really do believe now that her and I really worked on her financial thermostat, that she will be. I'm willing to bet by the end of 2022, if not halfway through 2023, because she's like, oh, I got it. Because once you get it, once you see that you have a financial thermostat, once you see it, it's like, oh, I can heal that. Because again, money is energy. If you want more money, view money more positively and figure out where you have that negative conception of money at. Hope this helped you guys. If you liked what you heard, please give me a review. If you're watching this on Spotify or iTunes or Amazon, I very much appreciate a review. If you have any questions about coaching with me, check out my website, KarenBarno.com. And in a couple of weeks, towards the end of May, I will be debuting my very first online training class, Next Level Confidence, to reconnect, recreate, and reclaim your power. It's going to be fire, in my opinion. Talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And here's to you finding your blue rose and stepping into your next level confidence.